You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant.
Truly Unruly, episode 13.
Yeah.
My name's Kel, here with Marcus Trufant.
Hey.
Jessica Trufant.
Hey.
We have a special guest because Jessica always claims that we bully and gang up on her.
It's time to get fucked up.
We have her good friend Rimah in the house, everybody. Give a round of applause for Rimah for joining us. San Diego's finest in the house.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so how's everybody's week been? Good?
Been solid, man.
I don't know. It was a good week. It was a good week, I'd say.
I saw you guys hit the mountain.
We did last weekend. It was good. I really feel like, I know some of you guys have been on this journey with me. I finally am not falling, scorpioning. Is that a word?
Yes.
I think that's
doing the scorpion,
like on
falling flat on
ridiculousness.
my face, popping implants. I'm quite certain I popped an implant.
Not the implant.
I don't do that anymore down the mountain. So everybody, please clap for me.
You guys are gang members on the slopes, though. Like, you guys are doing great.
To a point now to where we don't have to wait for Jess.
Okay. See, don't start.
Make sure we don't say the wrong thing on the mountain because she was so tense. And
I would literally cuss everybody out.
She's doing well, man.
And we'd have to bring it in. One time, literally, Omar was like, bring it in. And everybody was like, 1, 2, 3, team. Because I was so fresh. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Are you still going down the bunny slopes, or are you able to
Hell
actually
no.
go down the mountain?
Yeah,
Okay.
full on.
She's getting busy.
Getting busy.
Carving, surfing on the mountain, however you want to say it.
Yep,
She's doing
I'm
her thing.
carving. Colby said I had nice carves.
Carvability.
Carvability. Rimah, how was your week?
My week was good. I got kids and shit, though, so there's that. But it was good. Just typical work week. Me and my husband trying to manage the household and,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, well, since there's 4 of us, I decided I'm thinking this week we go a little like men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I know a lot of people are like familiar with the book. It's pretty much a summary of like the differences between men and women, how men want to find resolution and solution to things, and women want to just talk about it and discuss it.
Right.
So I had like emailed you guys some notes because I didn't want you guys to completely like be in the dark.
Right.
You all right, bud?
Yeah, man, I'm locking in.
Okay, you like you were thinking like really hard.
I'm still in
I'm
the
on my
dark.
glasses today because I wanted to be serious about the topics, and I'm locked in. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna start from the top. Here we go. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So I'm gonna read this to you, and then I just want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Okay.
Okay, Kel.
All right. Men and women are very different. Let me start that over again.
True.
Men and women are very different in ways they think, respond, and behave. Understanding these differences helps relationships. We mistakenly assume that if our partners love us, they will react and behave in a way we react and behave when we love someone. How do you feel about that?
I feel like you have to train men.
Train the dog, huh?
Right. I still stand by what I've been saying. Like, you have to train guys. Am I wrong?
You do have to
Are
teach
they
a
not
person,
in training?
You do have to teach people how to treat you. And I think that's the
You
same
do.
in relationships.
You do, because you guys are from Mars, and it like doesn't come naturally because you guys are naturally testosterone based and self. I got to do this self.
A lot of machismo,
Right,
if you will.
Right. So no, you guys need
But then,
sorry,
but
sorry,
there are men
not
that,
sorry.
But that's the thing, though. There are men that are more in touch
With their
that,
emotions?
Yeah, with their emotions than that
Nobody-
side. But they're
nobody
considered
be checking for
soft,
those
or
dudes.
that guy
Yeah.
he's not
There is
manly.
nothing wrong with that. I think that is a huge problem today. There is
is.
nothing wrong with men tapping into not even like their feminine side. It's okay. If you're emotional, it's okay. If you cry watching commercials and shit,
It's healthy.
It's okay.
It's
I
healthy
think
to
it's
be
it's
able
good.
to share
it's when
your
you
feelings.
are like holding all that shit in that it eats you from the inside out. So cry.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Cry, Marcus, cry.
step on the women's toes. I wanted them to be able to say their piece, of course, and then I wanted. Are you guys done? Can I?
Well, I'm sure you'll.
No. I just wanted to say that a lot of that is true, but what men see and are taught in our defense, especially as young men, that this is how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to be this way, and like you said, the macho overly aggressive at times type
sexist
stuff, or
stuff. Yeah. Right.
being the tough guy, or you got to treat women this way in order to get this type of response. And but as you grow, as you become more mature, and you kind of figure out that that's not real life. You know what I'm saying? If you want the right type of response from your spouse or your girlfriend or whatever, there are certain things as a man that you need to know and understand. But that comes with time and understanding and communication. Not so much training, but willingness, because there's some men that are of a certain age that really don't care, and they just go about what makes them feel good. And sometimes they have women that co-sign that, and they coddle that, and they go with that. So I would say a lot of things that men get away with are because women let them do it. I know I'm nervous. I shouldn't have said that out loud, but
no, say how you feel.
No, that's true.
Yes, it is. I was going to say it to a certain extent.
I do think that men have been. There is a majority of men who have been raised to think that they have to be a certain way, like void of emotion, void of feelings.
Get as many women as I can.
That
as
and
quick
just
as
like
I
don't need to tell anybody that I care about them or I love them or let this girl know that I like her. But once they meet that one, there is an instance where if you feel like you care about what she thinks about you, you will allow her to show you the things that matter most to her, which might be being more vocal with your feelings, being more communicative, sharing your emotions, and being able to just like be vulnerable, if you will.
A lot of men don't have those reps, though. It's hard for us, and we don't have those reps.
Right.
Well, that's why it starts from when you're young. That's what I'm saying. There's something wrong with it being boys have to be this way and they can only do this and that and this. There is not one little cookie cutter box for how men should be. Right. They should be encouraged to, be emotional and do those things. It helps. It's a hindrance to you've got to be masculine and tough and treat women like sexual objects and do all those types of things.
Which I think it'll work for like our sons, like the boys who are still boys now, but for the men who didn't get that, the women that they met, that they felt like they wanted or were interested in doing more to achieve something with that woman, there was a learning period where you're learning how to love her, and that might include being more communicative, being more open, or whatever, which you might not be used to. But in order to keep this one, you might have to do some more of that, and you might have, in order to make your household,
you gotta come off yourself.
Right. You gotta come off what you've been taught, what society feeds all men and women and all that. You got to come off that.
Fight against it.
Right.
You do the opposite all day.
That starts at home, though.
It starts at home.
It definitely starts at home.
And like we were talking about before it started, it goes through history.
Yes.
This is how it is. Men are supposed to be this way. Women are supposed to be submissive and, docile and quiet and Virgin Marys and shit. And men are allowed to be whatever they want. Really, you guys can be aggressive. Treat women a certain type. You're supposed to control your woman.
You know what's interesting about that too is like,
fuck that
speaking for
shit.
myself,
fuck
it's like
that shit.
I've never liked a docile woman, and I think that's a lot of that.
Neither do I.
I think a lot of that,
and I'm a woman.
And I think a lot of that has to do with being raised in a single parent household with such a strong mom. That I love a woman that can go and get it on her own and stand up for herself and is about her. Like, I don't know, that's just a strong woman that is just so attractive to me. Like a woman that I feel like I need to take care of her. Like, I'm like, yo, you're kind of fucking weak, Well,
and some men are really gravitate towards women that are weak.
It says more about them than the woman.
Yeah, it does. And take advantage of that. And so, it starts at home.
I would say, in all fairness to people who are docile or who enjoy a woman
submission. That is by design. We are not. We don't have to be like that.
No, you don't have to. But some women may thrive in that role, and they may like that.
No, you're right. You're absolutely
right. And some
right.
men, that's just their flavor. That's what they want, and that's what they're attracted to. Because everybody's different. So we shouldn't say it's bad if you're that way.
It's not bad, but it's almost an expectation, and it has been that way.
And it should be more like how you're describing. It should be more on an individual basis.
Right.
The two people, if it works for y'all, that's great.
Cool.
Maybe somebody's with a man who I would never be able to be with, but he's a decent man and she's a great woman. And he wouldn't be able to be with me just because of how my personality is. So I think it is an individual couple basis.
Maybe with the docile side of it comes other.
Wait a minute. Are you going there already? Are you really going there? What that mouth do type shit? What that mouth do? What is?
I'm just being honest of what some
Jesus Marcus
men may be going for, or I'm just opening it
Mr.
up.
Thirsty Time. Is there not a moment when you're not?
I don't want us to be one-sided on
quenched?
this show. I want us to explore everything. So I'm
what
just
do you mean? You mean like
no? If she has a personality that's
has talents
one way. She could have other talents doing other
don't
things.
listen.
And we're all adults in the bedroom, etc. Or
keep saying this. This is a reoccurring theme.
I'm just saying, I'm just being open. I can be open, right? I thought that's what we did on the show. I thought we were able to.
I'm sick of you.
Talk about this.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We're going to the next one. Here we go. Mr. Fix-It and the Home Improvement Committee. Women complain that men don't listen but are just looking to provide solutions. Men complain that women are always trying to improve them and the way they do things. Men value power, competence, and achievement. They need to achieve results by themselves. Women value feelings and the quality of relationships. Women should not offer unsolicited advice to men as it would seem critical and unaccepting. Men must listen to women without offering solutions, but in order to understand what she is going through.
First of all, I lost you like halfway
about
through.
We shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Like, don't tell me what I should or should not do.
I didn't say it.
Who wrote this book?
And that's not true.
Everything is not true.
Women do value.
It's just a summary. I just want to know what you guys
Women value achievement and control and things like that as well, and power. Women still want to be in control of their own destiny. Women want to be successful in their own right, whether it's their household, their motherhood, their careers, whatever. Women still want to achieve. And it's been, I think, a long time where it was almost considered like abrasive or intimidating for a woman to want too much of that, and then you get that docile word thrown in there where she's not docile enough because she wants to be the man or she wants to wear the pants in the relationship, and that's not okay. Right. That's not really how it is for every woman.
That's not how it is, and it took centuries for us to be able to get out into the work field. And so I think it just stems from all of that. Like, we weren't going to college. We weren't doing anything like that. We were sitting at home. Okay. I am a stay-at-home mom, but fuck that. I'm not that kind of stay-at-home mom. Anyways, just literally women were supposed to be in the kitchen doing all these things, and we really were not afforded those opportunities. Right. And so it's just automatically assumed that we just value feelings and we want the same shit that you want, and honestly we're better at it.
Damn, you would have thought I was the one that wrote the book. Right. I was just reading the notes.
Coming for you because you're reading these.
I was just reading the notes. How do you feel, True?
Yeah,
well, shout out to all the women out there.
Right.
That's true.
Love the women.
Yeah. Shout out to all the women out there.
Shout out to the ladies.
No, here you go. Are you going to tie it back in with favors of the mouth or what?
I mean, that does have a presence in every situation, but I'm not going there right now. But
ways,
really?
What I would say, very true. What I would say is, in any relationship, communication and honesty is where it really is. So, yeah. So, just like you said, that men are looking for certain things in the communication when you're talking about Mr. Fix-It, and the women want to talk and kind of go through this. Neither side can be like, it's my way or the highway, or this is exactly how it's supposed to be.
It's all about compromise.
Everything's a compromise. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, and this is just my personal thing, as a man, if you're able to let power go to a certain point, that's
ding, ding, ding.
power.
Let it go.
Or you have strength if you're able to do that and not feel a certain way about it. I can appreciate when my wife steps up and that she makes decisions and she wants to do stuff, and I'm just the assistant and I'm just on board, and I would back her, and then she does the same for me. So that's how a relationship works. And as
I agree. I think on the other side of it too, I think there's power in being able to submit for women, because I think that for me personally, that's something that was extremely hard to do.
Right.
Like I wasn't brought up like that. I was almost on the lines of like that ultra independence where you're like,
oh, I don't need no man.
I can do whatever. Or if I have a man, I just want you. I don't need you. And I don't need you to think I like you that much, you know? So I think that there's strength in being able to submit and be able to be like, okay, this person, it's okay for this person to know I need them, or that they matter that much to me, or I couldn't do this without them, or whatever. So there's strengths on both sides of that, where you relinquish some control and where you just accept that you don't need to have all the control too.
Have any of you in your marriages and relationships ever been in a situation? So for example, let's say you're dealing with a situation and you have the situation handled, but your wife gives you unsolicited advice and it's made this situation maybe somewhat worse, or vice versa. Has that happened?
No, because my advice is very solicited.
I was just asking you, but she can answer too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, so you just got a little taste of usually how the situation goes. And you asked me.
I felt like it was... Kelly, you were talking to him, but
he kind of said, "Have any of you though?" He did say, "Have any of you."
But I did look at Marcus say so, for example, and then kind of like.
Well, guess what? You have your answer now, right? Okay.
I'll wait until I'm told I could speak, and then I'll answer the question.
God damn it, Marcus.
Too funny.
Sometimes though, but I'm good with that. I have a firecracker of a wife, and that's what I like, and it's the opposite of me. And we've talked about in many occasions the yin and the yang of our relationships. I'm more of a introverted, kind of think through everything. Jess is more
wait a minute.
You know, wear your feelings and your emotions on your sleeve and kind of let people know exactly what you're feeling. And so
it's a good thing, it's a bad thing.
You know, I want some of that as well. I aspire to be like that, but yeah, if things come, I don't mind, because I know what I'm dealing with. I know who I'm dealing with. I know my crowd. I know what I'm dealing with.
Right, and that's why we work.
You can't be surprised, because that's what you chose.
I'm not surprised.
He literally allows me to be me, and I allow him to be him. And well, you know, of course there was a training period, but still, it never.
Sometimes, but
it never. He never changed like that. I didn't take anything from him. If anything, we both added to each other and brought out the best qualities in each other. And I think that is why we work. And, you know, like he aspires to be a little bit more snappy like me. Like I'm like the muscle. Because I'm so out there and in your face, I'm like somebody that's going to really tell you exactly how it is. And Marcus he's more laid back, right?
I'm more.
So he sits there and now he gives me free. He'll be like, Jess, you want to sit in on this conversation? And I'll be like, yeah. Okay. So first of all, I didn't like this, you know.
Right.
And he backs me.
Well, okay. But has there ever been a time though, Jess, that you could think of that you may have given him, you may have like, you know, stuck your nose in something and you're just like, maybe I should have just sat that one out. And then maybe you've like approached him, apologized to him later, like, yo, maybe my bad. I kind of like got at that situation a little, you know.
Well,
I mean, we all do it.
Okay, know. There was this one time, never, no.
Have you ever, in your relationship, in your marriage?
Yes, I think I give unsolicited advice all the time.
But is there time?
That's our job.
But is there time where you're just like, maybe I should have sat this one out?
But I don't usually admit that.
Admit it? Okay.
Yes,
See?
I definitely
and why is that though?
It's hard for me because I feel like even my unsolicited advice, I think it's right, and I know that it makes sense. I guarantee it is. And even if I know it makes sense and it's correct, I could tell based on my husband's reaction that like, I probably could have just chilled on that one. But it's too late. Full force. I'm in here.
Shout out to my guy, C. Will. Shout out to my guy, C. Will.
Shout out to Corey over there. To my husband.
when you're in there, once I start, there's no turning back.
Pull back.
So it sounds like, because they always talk about how it's hard for men to admit when they're wrong.
Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
even harder?
Well,
for,
I'm not wrong. That's the difference. I'm not actually
in your
wrong.
head, you may not.
No,
be
no,
wrong.
literally
not wrong.
Thank
It's just
you.
wrong that I had that my approach.
Okay.
Yes.
So I probably could have did it
Yes.
differently,
Wasn't
but my
exactly
answer is
right.
likely correct.
Right. Yes,
Girl,
exactly. My
you already
approach
know.
might have been
Can't believe
super
y'all.
fucked
Hey,
up.
wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Ooh, come get this tag
No,
team
no, wait,
today.
wait.
Come get
So
this.
you guys aren't wrong, but it's just not the right
No,
time. You
we're
guys-
It could
yes,
be a
you
wrong
know I'm
time.
right.
It could be the wrong approach, or it could just be like.
So are you saying you're never wrong, just in general in life?
Kel, I
rare.
literally said this in the car last night when especially about a person, when I have a feeling about a person, I am 99%
Now, you told me that
right.
before, and I've picked up on. You're good at that. I've picked up on that.
And he's
don't encourage it.
he's just now a believer. Like, I can read you.
But I think
right?
that some, like, for her, even for me, my husband is way more like calm and collective, and I'm like the storm to his calm. He's the calm to my storm. And I think he gives people more the benefit of the doubt. And I think Marcus is very similar, where he's really kind, and I'm more like, as soon as I get a bad vibe, like, I'm off you.
Right.
I don't do the fuck shit.
And even
I'm
if
gonna let
I-
you know I don't like you. It's easy for me. Like, you're gonna know I don't like you.
Right.
So
When's your birthday?
September. I'm
You're
a Libra.
You're a Libra?
I'm a late, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm well balanced.
You balance everything.
Yeah.
You
You're
guys
just
into
like-
the signs?
I
and
figured it
shit?
out.
You know,
I know.
hey,
Yeah, I know you are, but I didn't know you.
Just
guys
recently.
were into the-
Oh, you got the
You
zodiac.
already walking
Zodiac.
zodiac.
Look at me. Look at my tattoos. Absolutely.
A walking zodiac. You know, Kel's
He's like
about this,
astrology.
the space and the trajectory of
The aliens are coming.
the revolving around the sun, and then you're
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
The universe is speaking to us.
Absolutely.
I think, I guess to jump back into it, I'm a overthinker to a certain point. So when it comes to certain stuff, in most interactions, I'm a business email type of interaction versus,
Per my last email.
I'm just
And
gonna
I'm a
put my
per my
feelings
last
out.
email type person.
Yeah.
Per my last email, come get this. Come get some.
It's strategic in what I say and how I do it, because I'm thinking, I'm thinking big picture. On
Yeah.
a lot of,
And I'm not.
And I'm like in the moment right
Right
now.
just in the moment. This is what I
Right
feel like, so I'm gonna
now.
just give you everything. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
It's
you
just-
can. I feel like you can be a little bit more, and we're talking about in business and like in dealing with people that are like working with us or doing things like just like when we were building the house.
Things
and-
where money is involved. Important
Right.
things. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, well, I won't say it because I was Kel and Dylan. I always talk about when the album that was opened up. I won't say exactly, but like that right there, like, but God, I see it. You need to see it. You need to be like, But Marcus is getting better.
I'm
He's getting more aggressive, and I like it.
habitual glass half full guy too. So especially when it comes to something that I want to do and something I'm putting together, I'm like, yeah, this is great, and this is just going to be the best thing that's ever been created. By
And then I'm here to take a shit on
anyone.
it.
And, and
And
You're
bring
like,
it back
it's
down to
alright.
reality. I'm like, how is this going to work? And he's like, no, it's just gonna work out.
Balance.
And
You
then
guys do balance each other out.
and then it doesn't work.
or is
And
it
then
hate?
it's,
Is
I
it
told
hate?
you so.
Oh, wait, her told
He's
you
calling
so
me a
much?
hater. He calls me a hater, and I'm like, I'm not hating. I'm like fucking keeping it real.
Hella
Yeah.
salt, throwing so much salt.
Wait, her told you so, even when she's right.
Yeah.
Does she just drive the knife?
You know what?
Like it just doesn't let it go. It's like, see, I told you.
It works because
Don't answer that.
I pat myself on the back because of the way I am. I'm able to, just shrug stuff off. But the "I told you so" is like, it really kills me and it burns me up inside.
He
but
does
I
not
eat it.
like
I
being
eat it.
wrong.
I eat it.
He
and
doesn't like it.
Yeah.
He
You
doesn't
were
like
right.
it.
That's that Capricorn right there,
I
right?
should have done this and done that.
He like
but
he
then
can't
it's
stand
like,
it.
It comes up again and
Oh.
again, and maybe a year or two, but that's okay. I'm to a point now.
But then you take it as a personal failure, and it's not.
I just made 40, so
it's just a failure in general, but it's not a personal failure.
So,
you've succeeded at so many other things.
Yeah,
this is just one little.
It's just one like.
But Marcus is a winner, though. Like,
you learn from your losses.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
But you learn from your losses.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the glass half full, so I continue to push, and I've always been like, okay, Jess, I know I hear you at times, and I'm getting better, but I'm still gonna do it this way. I hear you,
right? But I'm like background noise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting better at like, okay, yeah, let me really ingest.
Yeah. Ingest Jess.
But Marcus, does it ever become like? I mean, and it may not. She may not mean this, obviously, but like, does it ever come off maybe condescending? So that's why you're just
absolutely.
So that's why you're just like, all right, you're just being a fucking hater. Like, I'm turning you off.
I'm not meaning to. I don't.
So do you?
I mean well.
So is there a way you can deliver your message better?
Remember, we said it's about the delivery, and sometimes it's not. It's less than
you been
desirable.
Since you're aware of it, have you been working on that?
Yes.
Right. Like, is there a moment when you stop and think, like, oh, wait, hold up. Let me.
Yes, I really think about it. And then sometimes if I'm in the moment and he doesn't give the response, like, yes, Jess, I'm really listening to you, then it escalates and I get more like, but you don't listen. And then I, go back to 2010 and bring something back from,
you can't
I beat a dead horse.
You can't bring up something from 10 years ago.
Raise it up. Beat it back
it's
down.
in the past. It doesn't even exist anymore. You cannot give that life.
I know.
You give that life.
I'm getting better, though. I really am. Am I lying? I might be lying to myself.
No, you're doing good, and I get it, and I'm learning too, and I'm growing because my background is just that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Say anything you want to say.
He doesn't give a shit, and he needs to give more shits. That's the problem. I'm like, give a shit.
Upset.
Give a shit.
That I don't care sometimes.
I think that's most men, because that's how
is that how Corey is?
Yes. It's like, I'm like,
Corey didn't even turn his head.
And I'm
Are you even moved by, like, do extreme emotions ever come out of you?
They want that, but they don't want
how
that.
How come
though?
I don't ever see, like, the only time I see you laugh really hard is like, it's very, rare with your friends about something that I don't even think is that funny or something like that. Or,
you guys take it so personal.
We do. We do.
Like, because it seems like are you holding it in, or does it really not bother you or affect you? And
if it really doesn't bother me, then why try to push to get this rise or get this reaction?
Well, because we want to know that you care.
We want to know.
We associate.
But if I tell you I care, shouldn't my word be good enough?
No.
My word and my actions.
So much louder.
Okay, my word and my actions. But if my actions are me not crying or like being some type of way.
Listen,
I'm gonna wait. I got one thing to say.
I want to see you cry. Period. I want you to cry. I want you to grovel. I want you to cry. I want you to do all those things. I want to see it.
Go ahead, Drew.
I would say in theory and on the surface that sounds good, but you ladies didn't get with us because we were overly emotional. It's
true.
You guys don't want to see us go to 100.
Wait.
Talk to these niggas!
Wait, listen. Y'all don't want to see us at 100 because that's not the part of us that you want to see.
I've never seen my husband.
I've never seen you at
That's what I'm saying.
Ready to
I don't like to go to 100 because it's hard for me to come back from that, and I know that about me. So
I've seen Marcus get mad a couple of times, and it's scary.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it.
It's like you'd be like,
you don't want to see him black out.
So,
but at the same time, it's like, ooh.
I keep the governor on purpose. I don't want to go there, and that's to 100 and that's to 0. So I make sure I stay in the middle. Maybe that's from sport. You never get too high, you never get too low type of thing.
I'm like,
but
ooh, that is sexy. He just fucking exploded.
Yeah, but I don't like to do that. I don't feel good by losing control and being at 100. So I try hard to make sure that I don't go there, and it comes off as being,
like Snoop Dogg, feels like I'm losing control and I don't even know. Girl, you hurt me oh so bad, but I love you so bad. So it don't matter now.
All right,
I'm doing better now. Whatever you do, it will come back to
I'm
you,
confused.
bitch.
As a man, you need to be able to show your emotions, right? Which is fair. But then at the same time, like
You don't.
You kind of want me to see red. Like it's sexy.
When it's appropriate.
Yeah, it is.
Not just randomly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I know. Don't get me wrong.
Guys,
like,
it's pretty hot to see you go red every once in a while.
Don't get me wrong. Like in your marriage, your relationship, you want your man to make you feel protected, right?
Yes.
We talked about this in the shower this morning.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about the shower conversation. So there was a conversation about how did the conversation go?
It just kind of the theme of this whole thing, like really, because I'm so fiery, just kind of like having my back, and we want to, which it's another kind of, how we were trained. I want to feel protected by him, right? And so we literally had this conversation in the shower. So I like to feel like he's getting that base and doing all that kind of stuff and protecting me. Like I said, it's a turn on.
But is that extra masculine side that we have been taught to be that we really shouldn't be doing this? Right, because society has taught us to.
No, I'm not saying be that way all the time, but be that way sometimes.
There are moments where it makes sense. So things that move you or that are cause for emotion, if you respond in that way, if somebody cat calls at me or something like that, I need you to be like, hey, I'm about to lay this nigga out. Like, talking to my wife, don't be like.
I think that's the only time I see him get hyped.
Yeah,
is when we're in those types of situations.
Like you already know your husband doesn't want anything to happen to you or wants to make sure you're okay, but I don't know why it is that way, but you still, it's like a balance of that though. So balancing that aggression and that stuff as well as being able to be emotional and controlled with your, so like if you can control it in the right settings, it's bomb. Like
we want you to be emotional, and then we want you to pull our hair and do all that kind of stuff.
And you guys correct me if I'm wrong.
It's a blend.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm hearing that.
Oh God.
Men have to be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to do this, don't do this, but do this just a little bit. So you need to be right on this line for it to be exactly what you guys want.
Absolutely.
It feels like
it's just like how y'all want us to be able to suck a mean and be docile and cook and clean and be the mother's like, we gotta be perfect and you guys gotta be perfect too. So we're trying to balance it all out.
Yep.
But then when I ask you if I'm in the mood for you to suck my mean one, and it's like, well, you're just horny all the time.
Well, those are facts too.
So that's what I'm saying is like I don't know, when is it allowed, when is it not allowed? It's like,
we just want all of you. We want the best version of you. We want the most well-rounded version of you. So it's the highs, it's the lows, it's the aggressive, it's the non-aggressive. We want it all.
All right, here we go. Here's the next part.
What else do you got for us, Kel? What else?
It's a little long, but here we go. Men go to their caves and women talk. Men deal with stress by retreating to their caves. They become more focused and withdrawn. Women become more overwhelmed and emotionally involved. They want to talk about problems. Men don't want to burden with their problems. They feel they need to solve them alone. They can lose awareness in everything and everyone around them and become distant, unresponsive, and forgetful. Women resent this, but need to have patience. For women, sharing problems is a sign of trust. They openly share their feelings of frustration and hopelessness. Women are not looking for immediate solutions, but want to be understood. When women talk about their problems, men feel that they are being held responsible. He should not offer explanations or solutions, but listen to understand. Your thoughts?
I don't like it when he says what women need to do.
Right. First of all, don't do me like that. Don't command me, right?
Else. Like
you don't run me.
I can tell the look in your eye right now. You're ready to kill something.
Right.
Pissing me off.
Right. You don't.
What's his name?
You can't control me from this book.
John Gray.
John Gray.
Well, here's the deal about men, retreating to their caves and holding everything in. That is why men have a lower life expectancy than
Ouch.
women because you guys hold that shit in, you harbor that shit. That is unhealthy. It eats you alive. This is why we live longer, because we explode, because we give the unsolicited advice, because we give our opinion, because we get together in groups and vent and
stuff.
cry and do all that kind of stuff. Take a page from our book, fellas.
Well,
Live longer. Let that shit go.
Gossiping helps you live longer. True.
Hell yeah, it does.
my rebuttal is
Nope, there isn't one.
Sometimes men, when we know our women and we can gauge sometime the type of response we're gonna get, we'd rather internalize that versus deal with that response. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but okay, if you have an issue with me and I really want to tell you exactly how I feel about it, I know that this is going to be a back and forth thing, and we may not be talking for a couple days, right? So I'm just going to let this sit, and I heard you, but I'm going to just say, okay, I'm good, or you do you. I can't remember what I say, or I say I'm good, or you're good, and I just let it be. But
You let it fester.
deep down inside, I want to be able to clap back and do that, but I know the game. I know how it works, so I'm gonna just let it be. I heard you, and then I'm gonna internalize, and then I'm gonna try to fix and do all the stuff I need to do without your help in most situations when it's like that. But that's what I think it comes down to, and I'm speaking from personal experience. If I know, okay, if it's a back and forth, sometimes I don't even want to deal with the back and forth. I hear you, and that's all I need.
Once again, you guys have been taught to hold everything in, to not show your emotions. And I'm not even talking about when we're going back and forth, just in general. You guys, there are some guys that are explosive and emotional, but a lot of, Kel,
I'll admit it.
I can see that.
it's okay.
I'm a Cancer,
fire
absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you're a Cancer. I forgot. You
I don't
a
be crying and
crying.
shit, no.
Yes.
I'm a Cancer. Listen, whoa.
I got it.
Yes. Oh, that explains everything,
Listen,
Kel. I get it now.
I don't
Kel.
cry in arguments.
Not in arguments,
like-
but you just cry in general.
And that's okay.
Like when people die, if someone I like care about,
I didn't
cry.
say, let's not go
But
there.
like honestly, like I'm not a big crier like that, and I actually kind of find it weird.
I'm not either, though.
Me neither.
At all.
Kel, I could see you shedding a good tear.
As of late,
Oh,
though, I'm more
or
emotional.
60.
He probably does the
As of
shaking
late.
chin and everything.
Yeah. No, but you know what I honestly think I attribute it to is my grandpa. Because my grandpa was one of those, like, I mean, I obviously as a kid, like, I'd cry, and and as an adult I've cried, but like I just remember like my grandpa like telling me like, what you crying for? There ain't nothing to cry about.
You do need to cry.
And so then like I'd be like, okay, and so then like something would happen and I'd want to be super emotional, but then I'd process it and be like, whoa, don't let this get the best of my emotions.
Yeah.
Why do I need to cry about this? Let's actually kind of think it through.
Yeah, but then it
But that
sits
is-
there.
No, it doesn't sit because how my brain works is then I go through the steps, and I'm a kid that's going through a lot of therapy, so I go through the steps of processing. So I try to process. Okay, well, why did this happen? What did I do to make this happen?
That's pretty advanced for a kid.
Like the teenager stuff, absolutely. Like
I wasn't thinking about any of that
Doesn't there
shit.
need to be a release of some sort?
There does.
Like the crying or
There does
the
need to be a
talking
release.
or the sharing
sports and
something.
fitness.
Okay, that
was
could
a lot of
release
that for
in
me,
itself,
and like
I guess.
music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like that's why like a lot of songs that I like. For instance, there might be songs that you listen to when you're feeling a certain emotion, you know, and that's where a lot of my love for music came from. So like, yeah, don't get me wrong, like a brother cry, but like I would go through like steps in my head of like, all right, like let's figure out why this is the way it is.
Okay, well, you're rare.
I'm weird.
You're weird and rare. Right, weird and rare. But I'm not going to say most. I don't want to, generalize. But a lot of men are taught to hold it in, but they don't go through that process.
Right.
And they hold it in, and it eats them alive, and then they die.
Well, I go through the process because in my head, for a sec, I'm thinking like, yo, am I fucking crazy? So then I have to like slow myself down and like stop for a second and be like, all right, like.
Right.
Well, it's something
and
to
try
be
to grasp on what's going on.
I think it's something to be said, though, about knowing your spouse and knowing what type of reactions you may get. people say it all the time that you got to choose your battles. So I'm not saying that you hold in all your emotions, but you got to choose your battles. Yeah. You don't want to fight over everything. At least I don't.
Right, but I'm talking about in general. Everything. You hold in a lot with your with business, with every you take all that on. You hold it in. There's not much of a release.
I know, but that's from my point of view. It's
worth it.
Cost of being the boss. Sometimes you people that are in a certain position, they can't do certain
when
stuff.
You're the pillar, you got to be the pillar because everyone's turning to you.
Yeah, you just can't lash out and do different
you
stuff.
You gotta have an outlet.
I do.
I
used to have an outlet.
I'm not saying even lash out. You guys are really taking it. It's not even like that. You don't have to lash out to release.
I would play in the men's league. I would play hoop.
But you are 40.
Yeah, I'm 40 now.
And ruptured Achilles. He's done with that.
Tore my Achilles. I used to hit people on Sundays, and I would try to hit people. I would try to kill people. That was my release.
I think what we're trying to say though is,
do you say that on camera? You try to kill people?
Is that? Can't say that. Everybody's doing it. So
I just release on my kids.
Jesus, Jessica.
So, and it's better that I release there than release on my wife, release on my kids. So to have things to do.
But if you did release on me one time.
On you.
There we go.
Shit, y'all got 5 kids. More like in you. More like in you.
There's no wasting of the release. Both going on over here. It's really though too like how you channel that release though is like in a healthy way. So even if you're talking about like like lashing out, maybe no, that's not the most healthy way.
Right.
But in a productive, constructive, like healthy way for you to gain an understanding of whatever she's talking about or dealing with. And for you to still get your point across and get your emotions out, but in a way that's like conducive to both of you guys, would still be helpful because that's not going to create like the holding in where you're built up and maybe resentment can come or just stress or overwhelming feelings or whatever. Also, in addition to that, it creates like her not knowing how you feel, which is still not cool sometimes.
Man, preach,
so
that's what I'm saying.
Now, real quick, Rimah, to add to that.
Preach, Sister Rimah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. To add to that, reading this where it says, men go to their caves by like holding stuff in.
Right.
But there's a literal sense of men going to their caves.
Yeah.
Right.
So for instance, like I go to my man cave. But and you go to your office with that amazing chair.
There is no kid. We don't have no damn cave.
But
like we said, there's no hiding
in that office, and you close the door and you lock the door, right? Yes. But here's the reason why like a lot of men why we have to do that is because in that moment in time, I can't talk to you about it. Because if I talk to you about it, I'm not going to be fucking nice.
That's something I had to learn, though. That is something I had to grow to learn, that in the moment, I need to give him space and time to process.
You got to let me have my space. And let me go to my man cave and let me go process it and go through my steps.
Right.
So then we can come back later and then talk about it.
For women, that takes a little bit of time and learning because I think that you do have to come back to it.
You have to come back.
Because if it festers, like it's unresolved.
It's going to be an even bigger conflict.
But here's the thing that you ladies have to understand is that it can't be on your timeline.
It actually can.
It can't be.
It used to be where I'd be like, no, right now.
No, it can't be. All right, nigga, I gave you 15 minutes.
Right.
We need to talk about this.
That's not enough.
I got something on my mind. I got something I want to talk about. Type.
Yeah, like let me have time. Cooler heads always prevail.
But sometimes y'all take
so long.
But
you guys,
but you can't be impatient. But you can't be impatient.
I don't have 3 hours and 47 minutes.
Like next day?
No, you don't wait a day. You don't sleep on it.
Like
you don't sleep on it.
That's too damn long.
Never go to bed, even though we have.
Y'all be taking.
Yeah, you don't want to go to bed angry,
Right.
But let's say before. I don't know. Let's say you don't even want to talk about it before bed because you don't want to go to bed.
Right.
Go to
so
bed
you got
upset.
15 minutes.
Sometimes
I'm gonna set the timer. Go in your office. Shut the door.
Not fair.
I mean, but what you're describing,
but it's meant to be not fair, and I'm okay with it not being fair. I understand that. No, I understand that though.
If we're gonna have,
I throw it in the towel, Kale. I've given up.
Fuck that. If we're going to have an adult conversation where I'm going to sit here and listen to what you have to say and take everything that you say in consideration and vice versa, like let there be the window of time of me being able to process it. Now, I'm not sitting here saying it'd be 24 hours. Yeah, that's way too long. But give me an hour or two. Give me an hour or two. I'm going to feel fine in an hour and a half.
Okay, so next time I'm going to start my timer. Tick, tick, tick. Okay, he's got 2 hours. And then we're going to talk about this.
Kale and the ladies here as well. I've made it, I talk to myself. I do a lot of self-talk, right?
I do that too. It's great. It's very healthy.
I've told myself that this isn't a rational way of thinking for women sometimes, from my point of view.
What?
That things are going to be skewed and
we're not rational? Is that what you just said? Women aren't rational? Is that what you just said?
Let him finish. Go ahead, True. Continue.
Yeah, Jess, I'll let you go after I go, and you can say your piece. But I was saying that things, from my point of view, from how I think as a man, and men and women are different. So I have to get out of, okay, what I think is right, what I feel like it's supposed to be, I've thrown that out the window. So I've prepared myself to deal with stuff that I deem out of pocket or not being exactly how it's supposed to be, and I have to be okay with that because it's outside of my box. So I'm like, okay, if the women, they want us to come back right away, be able to handle stuff and be able to do this and do that, that's okay, because I'm just throwing my personal stuff out the window and I'm trying to be open, if that makes sense. So
for the greater good,
what I think is rational may not be rational for the women that are from Mars. You know what I'm saying?
Venus.
So we're not. See.
Excuse
you don't
me.
even know where you
don't
from.
even like.
Whoa, hey.
That's what you get.
No. So what I'm saying is, or what I was trying to say is that things are different. As a man, you sometimes just gotta let down your guard and just
You've gotta submit.
Open to the BS. Let them.
Just say it. It's fine.
Wait,
You've already done it. Go ahead and dig. Keep digging.
Yeah.
No, I'm not digging. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. It's 5 more feet, and you're in there.
Just everything that comes with it. Sometimes you just got to take it, and then you clean it up later. Because in the heat of the moment, it's rough sometimes.
Right. I just don't understand how and there's nothing wrong as a male, I guess, being submissive, but submit to something.
Not so much submissive, but just like I said earlier, you can't fight over everything. If I wanted to have everything my way 100% of the time, that's going to be a fight.
That's true. Pick and choose your battles, like you said. No, you're right.
You pick and choose your battles, but you when it's something that, I stand strong on and I want to be, I want my point to be heard, I'll stand on that. But a lot of times it's just like, all right.
Like he said, a lot of times he's like, I don't care.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, this is perfect for leading into this next part. Here we go. Speaking different languages. The languages that men and women speak, the languages that men and women use have different words, have same words, but different and often confusing meanings. Women speak in metaphors and generalizations. If men speak at all, it's very literal, and they interpret women in the same way, a literal way. A man talks only to convey information. A woman talks for many more reasons and complain that men don't talk. Women should support men in their caves by going off and doing something with their friends. Men should explain why they're not talking.
I need this guy.
Is he alive still?
He's still alive.
I'm going to go dig his ass up. Because this shit is whack.
He ain't shit.
This is whack.
Remember I forgot to give Rimah the rule.
What?
Remember the rule we said, the unspoken rule is that there's no generalizations on the podcast, especially as for women. I was like,
well,
you girls you generalize a lot.
No, we don't.
All right.
I don't think we generalize a lot. You guys generalize a lot.
You generalize on this podcast a lot.
Okay, whatever. We're speaking two different languages right now.
I was here.
Okay, sometimes everybody does it.
So that makes it okay?
Stop. See?
What?
Let's get him. No, it does not make it okay, but I'm not over here generalizing all the time. But
there's no but then.
There is a but. We don't do it all the time, but we do it, and that's okay. I think it's okay.
You could say generally speaking. What's wrong with generally
okay.
You cannot put a blanket statement over an entire
statement. Sometimes it is a blanket.
Generally means like the majority or most often than not.
Every time I have ever generalized women in my life, I have almost been crucified.
I mean, you're wrong. That's why you be wrong.
But it's not like
you
that.
You have to be wrong.
You can't fucking win.
But it's not like that. I'm not making a general, and I might say, but then I might kind of back it up and then kind of go, but I'm not always making blanket statements, so I resent you for that.
Your thoughts, Mr. Trufant?
I was going to say back to your text that you just read there.
You see?
Yeah, as I digress back.
I digress.
No, but so that's the kids. I'm sitting upstairs. But from personally speaking, I didn't like to talk about a bunch of stuff. It would just be like, okay, cool.
Like you said, you're
whatever,
speaking in like
this and that, and let's just be done with it. And I know you're upset, but I really don't want to really get down to the nitty gritty of it, and that's not the best way to do things from personal experience. So just being open and being more of a talker is good for men to do, because I agree with that. Men don't necessarily like to talk about stuff all the time, but it's a good thing.
And we're fucking metaphor poets. We're speaking in poetry and shit to you guys.
We do,
and
but we also are very specific with what we're talking. Like when I'm talking about a situation, I don't give a fuck about what everybody else is doing. I'm talking about me and you. So what you want to do? Like if I'm upset about something, or if I'm trying to figure out a situation, I'm talking about us. If I bring up a movie or a song I like, and it's like a song about how niggas ain't shit or something, I'm trying to figure out if you know that this relates to us, or if I'm talking specifically. Usually, I might use something else as a vehicle to get to that. Like, we just watched this movie about love, and what do you think about how they figured out how to get back together? Would you do that if that was us? Like, it's always about us,
right?
It ain't ever general. I don't care about what everybody else is doing.
Sometimes, and this is just personally speaking, it could feel kind of one-sided and kind of finger pointing-ish when those type of conversations are.
I mean, you just take it that way. It's not.
Because it's a direct question to you.
It's not.
If you feel uncomfortable answering the question, that's why you feel kind of attacked.
Right.
But it's really just like, how do you feel about
you're
this?
in your feelings?
Why are you getting why are you feeling weird about this? I'm asking you how you feel about me.
Oh wait, you do have feelings.
Because that's the thing though with women, is that you guys aren't direct like that. There's always a damn motive.
But we always mean us.
There's always a motive.
We're telling you
now. We're going around, but you know what I mean.
Generally speaking, they already have the answer in their mind that they want to hear, and if they don't get that,
and if you don't get that
back, oh, I can't believe.
Hell yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
So if you know that,
we're waiting for that. We're waiting for that response, and when you don't give it, it's like.
And if you know that, are you going against the grain, or are you just like you really don't get it?
Sometimes we feel like we got to stand up for ourselves.
You know that. Like we're with intelligent men. I know you know me. You know.
Sometimes we got to stand up though and be like, okay, I just can't give her everything she wants, because it's like, okay, and then you spoiled, and then you're gonna take advantage.
I understand my lady got to give me some damn pop quiz.
But wait a minute. But I thought last podcast you said you want to give me everything I want.
Do, but I don't want to be.
I want the proper
a doormat
response
at the same time, and you know what I'm saying. So
respect me.
Yeah,
respect me.
Respect me. You're not a doormat.
I know, but some men may, and I have friends, and I've heard that sometimes you treat a woman a certain way, and she may stay in line. And these are my brothers that's in the streets and are doing different things.
What brothers is in the streets giving you that advice?
In line?
And this is a younger me, long time ago.
Staying in line.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Can't give them everything.
You guys are giving each other bad advice. You guys are.
What are these men doing now?
Hey,
are they
where are they now?
Living for the city. So
They are doing the same thing.
Girl.
But in marriage, it's a consistent compromise. So men, we feel like we have to stand up for ourselves sometime and not necessarily
It's kind of weird.
bow down or give you what you want. And if it's not stuff we necessarily agree with, but then at the same time you pick your battle. So it's a consistent dance. And it's always changing. It's always evolving. Shout out to my man, C. Will. He told me that on the break, that things are evolving. Things change as you grow from the beginning of your relationship towards the end of your relationship. Everything is consistently growing.
We got to give that man a microphone.
Yes,
it's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
It's always.
It's about the process. It's about how you get there. It's all that kind of stuff.
Okay. You guys ready for this? This one's funny.
I don't know if I can take anymore.
I have this one. I have one more. I have one more after this one, and then we'll be good. Okay.
Like I don't know.
He's a fuck nigga.
Okay.
I'm convinced.
Okay, wait.
He is.
You might laugh.
Fuck
You're
boy.
gonna laugh at this one. Here we go. Men are like rubber bands. Men get very close to women and then pull away. After fulfilling their need for intimacy, men feel a strong need for independence and autonomy. After fulfilling that need, they will once again feel the need for intimacy. Men constantly alternate between needing autonomy and intimacy. When a man is pulling away, he should be left alone. I thought it was hilarious.
Okay, so
what's autonomy first?
That means like
independence.
That's like
you want to be right.
You get to regulate what you do yourself.
All right.
So autonomy and intimacy. I mean, we want the same thing.
Right.
Shit.
Like how are those two correlated? Like how can you not have self-independence just because you've established some intimacy with someone? Like why are you not now feeling independent or like you're self-regulating whatever you want to do just because you've been intimate with someone? Does it feel like you've lost something because you've done that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like why are men feeling like as soon as I'm intimate with a woman, I need her to know that it's not any more than just that. So now I need to let her know I can take care of myself and do everything I need on my, like why
Are we talking about in a marriage or are we talking about
just in general?
In general.
I think it's a general statement.
Just in general.
Oh, I'm thinking about marriage, but anyways.
I know this much. I mean, I look at it in a simpler way. You know, after I get my nut, I don't feel like cuddling.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Like, are we talking about in a marriage, like when the rubber band,
touch me,
you pull out and then you pull away, like
pull out, go get you a towel, you know?
I need a shirt made.
Son of a gun.
Pull out, pull
But
away.
I think Rimah has a that's a very valid point. Like, why do you feel like you have to lay in it?
Right. Lay in the wet spot. Lay in that spot.
You know, sit in
What
it.
is the
like,
problem with
be vulnerable, be in that moment. You don't have to turn away and be like
because
that. But like I said,
the money's on the dresser.
We value the same thing.
Damn it.
No, we've literally had some transactions like that. Like, okay,
even
well,
if you don't
I'll
feel
go
like
get
you
those.
want to
I'll go
connect
get
with
those
that
shoes
person
now.
anymore, you don't have to, even if you remain like just connected to them for a little bit. So what is the intent, like the intense need to just like pull away immediately after obtaining that?
Well, I know, I don't want to speak for my guy, but I just remember on an episode that my guy said that, you know, he would love to be intimate and spend a day with sweet love making.
Why do you remember these
a
quotes?
day though? That's like all day.
Why do you remember these?
My bottom lip,
Somebody
as I was saying.
this is not when we was 22 and had no jobs.
You know,
where we could do stuff like
I'll
this.
say this. I'm gonna wait till you guys get done, but I'll say this. It's a thing, though. It's a thing that is. I think it's a good position for me to be in, to be that thirsty, and I use that term on a.
Why are we back on thirst?
That
Every
that
week.
I'm really in to my woman, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, and if that's looked at as being soft or a simp, et cetera, I'm okay with that.
A simp?
No.
Yeah.
You're not a
You're not a
simp.
Definitely
That's like a
not
90s
simping.
term. Excuse me.
You're not a simp.
Whatever
but-
simp means, you're not simping.
No, but
You're-
no. But I'm saying that, you know, some younger guys may look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
acting in this manner, and by the bro code or whatever, this is what that is. But I'm at a point now that I want my lady to be happy. You know, I want to be happy. So whatever I need to do to make my lady happy, I'm good with doing that. And so, as far as the rubber band,
he's a pleaser.
Maybe you know, I'm the guy I do want to lay in, and I want to be there for a while. I'm not going to retract.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother.
And I'm like, get the fuck off me. I'm like, nigga, it is hot. I'm like, damn, it is.
I'm like, hey, whoa.
He does be like, whoa, what are you doing?
Hey, easy.
I'm like, get away from done.
But it comes over time, and we're in a good place. We're in a good place. So you just got to learn.
Always.
Your spouse, your lady has you to learn you. You learn your lady, and you find out what they like. And it's not a good or a bad thing, but you just learn what they like and what they don't, and you try to give them what they need. It's simple, but it's not.
Right.
It's not. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes communication. It takes
practice. It takes
compromise.
Reps. You need to rest.
You have to really be putting forth the effort to want to know more.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you could be in a long relationship, but it could just be baseless, and somebody's not getting fulfilled.
Right.
One way or the other.
Okay. How to avoid arguments. It should be avoided at all costs. Negotiate. Don't argue. When a man feels challenged, he focuses on being right and forgets to be loving. He's upset. He upsets her and invalidates her feelings, usually by trying to solve her problems. We need to accept that our partners aren't perfect.
Yeah, I still hate him.
The John Gray. What is his name?
John Gray.
John Gray.
He kind of sucks.
He does suck. There are some points though.
Yeah.
I don't think arguments though should be avoided at all costs.
They should not be avoided.
Arguments are healthy. It's just how you go about resolving them that makes the most sense and the most. That's the most healthy piece of it.
Oh God,
arguing
having a girl
and then
here,
coming to a resolution. Yeah, like because arguing is normal. You're not going to agree.
It's healthy. It's when you don't argue. That's weird.
That's weird as fuck.
It's weird.
You need to disagree on things, but you just need to figure out a way to make sure your disagreements don't turn into disrespect of each other.
Right.
Period.
Disrespect. And when you have conflict and you have arguments, you really get to really get down to what the partner really wants. You figure out, you can start from the bottom, right? And solve your conflict that way in a respectful manner. So I think you have to have arguments to continue to get to know your partner and their dislikes and their wants or what they're not getting enough of.
That's how you learn about each other. I wouldn't know more about my husband if he didn't disagree with something that I was in agreement with or that I thought was cool, and he was like, actually, this is my perspective on that, and then you're kind of more intrigued, like, oh, well, why? Oh, that don't make no sense. And then it's like, well, actually it does. And you can argue and figure out different point of views, but it's really just how you resolve the issue that is most important.
Right. And it's an argument. It's not a fight.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's not a fight. And that's what we were talking about on New Day. It's even healthy to argue in front of your kids.
Yes.
For your kids to see that back and forth interaction and how you guys resolve it.
They learn how to solve problems by watching
and
you.
Mommy and daddy, they did that, but they're okay.
Yes.
Right. So I think it is healthy to argue. So, gray guy.
Chill.
Just stop.
Chill.
Question for you, Rimah, since you're here, because Marcus and I have been trying to dissect this and understand this for a while. What is your definition of a thirsty dude?
Oh, here we go. I swear to God, we stay on this.
A thirsty dude. So thirsty it's a negative connotation to it.
Yes.
So to me, a thirsty dude is
how she describes it, how you described it.
I just
was as
talking
a
about
negative.
Thirsty dude.
We describe thirsty as
you took the power back in thirsty, right?
Yes, you did. Because thirsty is. I mean, when I'm thinking of him being thirsty for his wife or my husband being thirsty for me, I don't think it's bad because we're married and
it depends on the context of which you're
enthralled with me that he's just thirsty.
But so we're saying just in general.
In general, thirsty is where you're willing to risk your integrity and your everything for the sake of just being with someone that you deem as being whatever, beautiful or sexy or cool or some kind of a status they have or whatever it is that you like about that person so much, you're willing to risk your integrity, your person, your morals, your values for that. That's thirst, and that's not good.
That's the best, I think, description in the negative sense.
Yeah.
I'd like to respond, though.
I like to respond. Here we go.
That's okay.
I like it.
Come with your rebuttal. No,
I would like to respond. Wait. I would like to respond from being a man myself.
From a thirsty
that was
standpoint?
Once, not in the streets, but in the streets. So when some men, they don't care about the integrity piece of it because they don't respect the woman's opinion. So the thirst is just a numbers game. I'm here. I'm active. I'm trying to do whatever. And if you think I'm thirsty, all right, cool. But I don't
the thirst.
care.
But the woman might not be the only person that sees the thirst. So you can generally have a reputation for being thirsty. So maybe that man don't care about how she thinks of him, but everybody else
think it's a blanket
because I think for women, if you're a thirsty woman, you're called a groupie, you're called a thought, you're called this, that,
and
the
in
other.
most cases, they don't care because they got an
Shout out
agenda
to
or a goal that they're
T-Hot.
trying to
That's true, but I think they do care.
Inside joke.
I don't think they don't care. They're still trying to reach the goal, but they do not want to be referred to as a thought or a hoe or a groupie or whatever. Like, they don't like the negative connotation that comes with it, but they have a goal that they're willing to risk everything else that comes with that, their reputation, their...
I don't know why we gotta be groupies and hoes and we're doing the same stuff as you guys.
Is that like a woman, though, that calls herself a bad bitch but hates being called a bitch?
Ooh.
I mean,
well...
There's so
like
many
if
different connotations of the bitch. Like, you can be called a bitch in a negative way, and it's like, no, you can't call me no bitch.
But I've heard women be like, you're a bitch. I know I'm a bitch. Like,
that's kind of somebody probably trying to take their power back and not let you bother them.
Yes,
so that they don't.
There is power in the word bitch, and at the same time, it is degrading at the same time.
Yeah, because when we be talking shit, I'd be like, bitch,
bitch,
girl, this shit,
bitch.
But it's a different connotation than if someone I don't know calls me out my name. Like, no, you can't do that. Or or if someone were to call me a bad bitch and their point was to try to compliment me, I could see that. But if you don't know me, it's probably not not approved.
And guys are usually using bitch in a very derogatory, negative, disturbing, ownership, masculine, round.
That's a bitch.
If she's like, "Ooh, wow, that's a sexy bitch over there," is that negative?
No, yes.
That's funny. I've never heard nobody say that.
But we
I came up with that. It literally just came up in my head.
We can say that to each other.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
Oh, bitch.
Can we get back to the thirst, though? Because I'm...
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Oh,
Go
God.
ahead, brother.
We might as well name this the Thirsty Unruly podcast. I don't know.
And so...
The truth... She's up there.
Yes.
Mr. Thirsty.
The thirst... and approaching women. I know as of late, if you're approaching a woman, you're thirsty. If you're
just approaching?
Not approaching, but I know with social media and all that kind of stuff, it's a little bit different now.
Yeah, the youngsters have a different idea.
But the thirst and being attracted, liking a woman, and like I said, there's a difference between being a thirsty husband versus a thirsty single.
I'm talking about the 90s, 2000s thirsty.
Man. Yeah, but
it's a different
like
type of thirst.
Those guys in the 90s and 2000s,
99 in the 2000s.
It didn't matter if anyone called me thirsty.
It was romantic. It
didn't bother me. I didn't care. I didn't have that much of a... I wasn't trying to prove for the women. I had my own goals. I had my own agendas. So
my guy was getting it in.
That didn't matter. It didn't matter. So that's but like the point about it, the point that I'm trying to get to is that
you enjoyed being a thirsty.
No, it's that thirsty. Some women they act like the thirsty dude is like the black sheep, a person they don't want to address or talk to, but the dude that's active, the dude that is about the action is usually seen as attractive, or that's the guy that I can't, like, I'm gonna turn my back, but I can't wait for him to come up to me type of thing. At least in my mind, that's.
No, I agree, because I've definitely one thing with some of these ladies, not generalizing, that they kind of pick.
Oh, here we go.
No, they kind of pick and choose.
You guys don't generalize at all.
I'm not generalizing. I'm
Just
saying
we do.
I've seen situations where a girl believes that a guy just isn't in her league, and just the fact that him getting at her is he's thirsty.
And I think that's the difference, is like there's a connotation between, there's the generational change or differentiating in it, where there's young people who have, like, you even try to talk to a girl, and if she's already not interested in you or not attracted to you, then you're considered thirsty because she was never going to give you a chance anyway.
Right.
But if you were the dude that she's really already feeling, or she deems you as attractive or whatever, then it's cool. So that's people just picking and choosing. The young people do that. They'll call a dude who's broke and not attractive, that's trying to talk to them, a thirsty
don't
ass
got that
nigga.
many followers.
But then a guy who is actually like someone they wanted already, if he tries the same exact tactic as that other guy, they'll be like totally willing and open to him. So I think that's contradictory I think it's young people though that do that. I feel like
at the same time, I'm just going off personal experience. I have had guys that I've been like, when I was younger, like, oh my God, he's so fine, blah, blah, ooh, I've been waiting. And then he comes with so much thirst. That it
turns you off.
Coming out of his pores. He's like dripping thirst. And I'm like...
But do you think that's a maturity thing, and you just couldn't appreciate... how much he valued you?
Maybe that's it.
That is
maybe
good.
that is it.
That
I
makes
couldn't.
a lot of sense.
And for me, like we talked about in the past, that was a turn off. I'm like, this thirsty.
Because we've been brought up.
I'm uncomfortable.
Just as much as you guys have been brought up in some toxic masculinity traits or whatever, we've been brought up to masculinity. Like the dudes who are really like gangsters, the bad boys, the whatever kind of little stereotype you want to put on them. The guys who weren't really doing much but had looks or had maybe athletic or whatever it is. And then we realize later with growth and maturity that that's not usually the dude that brings stability to your life all the time.
Right.
So you're looking at that dude as like, oh, this is the guy I want. And when he's trying to holler at you, you're like, it's cool. But the dude who was the good guy and the nerd in class or whatever it is, now he done glowed up and he's trying to get with you on a respectful level. He's trying to take you out or buy you flowers or do something romantic or whatever. You're calling him a thirst bucket.
So what I would say,
that's thirsty behavior.
So there's some mixed messaging
in some cases, and like I said earlier, that women,
I see you, Dylan.
They say, okay, yeah, I want all this positive reinforcement. I want to be treated a certain way, which could be deemed as thirsty. But do women? Not that they enjoy being treated bad or being gamed up and etc. But when that happens, that's kind of like a game, and there's a little bit of a rise that comes from that.
That's
from not
toxic,
being
though.
that is
who's been broken and maybe doesn't know.
And that's what I'm saying. So these mixed signals that are coming out for young men that don't have no sense.
I think both are giving the mixed signals. We all have like
men.
If I treat you bad, I act like I don't like you. I'm not giving you
we want reformed gangsters. We want men who've been in the streets
we
so
do want reformed
and know how to fight, but that know how to treat a woman and respect their mamas. And
cheers to
and
that.
can later fight.
I'm sorry, not every dude is about to be Jody from Baby Boy.
Now Jody ain't shit.
Yeah, Jody was shit.
Terrible. He didn't even have his own car. He stole Yvette's car.
Well, not everybody's gonna be. What was Cuba Gooding Jr.'s name in Boys in the Hood?
Furious, right? Oh no,
Furious.
Dope
That's
Boy.
his dad. That's his dad.
Oh, Cuba. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about
Cuba.
Trey.
Trey.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna be Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have some well-roundedness where you understand different dynamics.
You know?
And if you tell me sit your ass down, I might be like,
not everybody's gonna be what's his name.
That's what I'm saying.
But you also respect me, treat your mother right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we like. Sit your ass down. Okay.
Yeah, so, like we want it all, just like y'all want it all.
Y'all
want it all. We want it all too.
They want something that's not real.
I think we got to take a kid to practice.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, you guys.
I haven't heard anything.
This was good. This is episode 13 of Truly Unruly. This was a good discussion, you guys. A lot of venting.
I love it.
Rimah, thank you for being a part of this. This was great.
I knew she would bring the shit. Eat it, guys.
What? I agree with a lot of the shit she said.
I enjoyed this.
I
enjoyed it.
I had fun.
All right, remember, you can follow us on... What camera am I looking at, Dylan? That one. Okay. Follow us on Instagram, Truly Unruly _ podcast. You can watch us on Marcus Trufant's YouTube page. So remember to subscribe, like, and review. And listen to us on Podcast One and Apple Podcasts. This was fun.
Truly Unruly.
It was fun. Thank you for coming. Yay!
Oh, and sorry to you guys that we didn't get to your questions that a lot of people had access. I said we'd get to them this episode, but this conversation just got too fucking good.
It just took it over.
Sorry. All right, y'all. Till next time.
Bye. Peace.